Hello, everybody. This is John Paval with today's live stream action update for Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Can you believe we're already on the way to Christmas this year? I can't. We have a lovely lineup for you today of an organ recital, of a piano recital, of musicians from Marlboro, which is always a first-class kind of a live stream, and a very interesting live piano violin duo coming to you from the West Coast. So let me get right to all of this. Before I go any further, let me remind you, if you like this kind of thing, what are you waiting for? Follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on our various platforms. I'll remind you about them at the end of this live stream. But this would be a good time for you to just click subscribe, follow, notifications, etc. Anyway, first off, St. Mary's Perivale will be live streaming pianist Tyler Hay playing Rubinstein, Rachmaninoff, and Tchaikovsky. Couple of waltzes and a romance. That's Rubinstein Sonata number 1 in E minor, opus 12, Tchaikovsky's 3 pieces from opus 51, and Rachmaninoff Sonata number 2 in B flat minor, opus 36, the 1931 version. Tyler was the first prize winner in the Liszt Society International Piano Competition, and their finals are on this Saturday, and I believe they're also going to be live streamed all afternoon long by St. Mary's Perivale. He has a number of CDs out of music by Liszt, John Ogden, Kalkbrenner, and Field on brilliant classics. He's been called phenomenally good by International Piano Magazine, like a man possessed by Pianist Magazine, with technique to spare, though, they say. And Gramophone's a bit more measured. They just say his playing is intelligent and insightful. That will be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon European time, 9 on the East Coast, 6 in the morning on the West Coast, 1 o'clock late night down under in Australia. After that, coming up some hours after that, St. James Episcopal Church in Toronto live streams Imre Olah of the Richmond Hill Presbyterian Church on its 87 rank 4 manual and 6 division organ with 5,101 pipes. Now, I have that written down. I don't have that memorized. Anyway, that's at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which makes it 7 in the evening here in Europe and 10 in the morning on the West Coast. We don't know what he's going to be playing. I will give you the specs to the organ and include I don't know if I can include a link to Imre Olah's page. He's Hungarian, moved to Canada years ago, 1989, at the end of the Cold War, when all the walls came down. He has an associateship diploma with the Royal College, Canadian College of Organists. He's also involved with the St. Elizabeth of Hungary Church in Toronto and conducts their Schola Cantorum. Don't know what he's playing, but usually he plays, this is not his first time playing at St. James. Usually he plays very classic Bach, Liszt, things like that on the organ. Next up, the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society is live streaming musicians from Marlboro again. They do this a few times a year. This is live from the American Philosophical Society's Benjamin Franklin Hall in Philadelphia. They named things after the founding fathers in Philadelphia because that's where they founded this American joint. This is the 5th decade that Marlboro, which has their big summer event, sends out ensembles of veteran and young musicians. They'll be playing Benjamin Britten's Fantasy Quartet for oboe and strings, which was his breakthrough internationally. Shostakovich's String Quartet number 8 in C minor, dedicated to the victims of war and fascism, and Mendelssohn's String Quartet number 1 in A major, opus 18, which he composed when he was only 16 years old. So show him off. Anyway, it's Clara Neubauer on the violin, 21-year-old student at Juilliard. It's Itamar Zorman also on the violin. He's an Israeli pianist. He was at Juilliard 20 years ago. It's Ao Peng on the viola, who's an assistant piano teacher at Juilliard, but still at the wind competition stage of the career. And finally, and Hiroki Kasai also on the viola, and he won the Tokyo International Viola Competition in June this year and played for the Emperor of Japan. And finally, Oliver Herbert on the cello, who went to the Curtis Institute and before that the Colburn School, and he's now continuing his studies at the Kronberg Academy. Looks like another Philadelphia Chamber Music Society good time for those who love chamber music. And finally, out on the West Coast, San Francisco Noontime Concerts is live streaming Karen Bentley Pollick on the violin and Daniel Glover on the piano. They're playing 3 sonatas by Hugo Kauder, a sonata in G major, A minor, and D major. Who knew? And then Tchaikovsky's the Canzonetta from his violin concerto in D major. Who is Hugo Kauder? Australian composer, born in the late 1800s, ended up in New York after the Nazis took over Austria in 1938. They called that the Anschluss. And composed over 200 works, 5 symphonies, an opera, 19 string quartets, Lieder up the wazoo, etc. And I don't know him. I've never heard of him. So this is a chance for you to discover him too. They'll be... well, I told you what they'll be playing. And who are these musicians? Karen Pollick is a native of Palo Alto. I lived in Palo Alto when I went to Stanford. She went to Indiana University for her bachelor's and master's, joined the Paul Dresser Electroacoustic Band in 1999. She's very interested in multimedia projects. She's also a composer. She's got a number of recordings out of music by people like Gradiner and Ivan Sokolov and Virko Bailey. I have no idea who these people are. If you do, you're a better musicologist than I am, because I'm not a musicologist. Anyway, and Daniel Glover, he has a master's from Juilliard. He's been around a while. He did his Carnegie Hall recital in 1992. So he's performed all over the U.S. and in Europe, and plays with a lot of Bay Area orchestras, but also outside the Bay Area too. And he's taught at New York University, University of San Francisco, and has recorded 10 solo CDs. Folks, that's what you have coming up for you today. 3 interesting chamber music concerts and a potentially lovely organ recital. That's all I have for you today. I will be back at 6 and at 7 in the evening with our organ recital roundup for this week and with our chamber music roundup for this week, all the other chamber music that's coming up this week. And there's a lot of it. So tune back in at 6 or at 7 and spend a little time with me. Ciao for now.